We've all seen them. And let's be honest, a lot of us have tried them. I'm talking about the 30-day challenge. It's this exciting promise of a total transformation in just 1 month. But why do they so often just end in, well, frustration? So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly why they fail and, way more importantly, how you can actually build a habit that sticks. Okay, so picture this, because it's a super familiar story, right? You find the perfect plan. Maybe it's a workout, a new diet, or a daily meditation challenge. You are so fired up. Day one hits, and you're just full of energy, full of motivation. You're telling yourself, okay, this time it's going to be different. This one's going to stick. And yet, what happens? For so many of us, by day 10, that motivation is just gone. You've missed a day, maybe two, and the whole thing just kind of fizzles out. So what is going on here? Why does this super promising start so often lead to a total dead end?
All right, so to understand why they fail, we've got to first understand why they're so appealing in the first place. Let's dig into the promise that these challenges are making to us.
It really all starts with a core truth. Fitness trainer Lindsey Baumgren puts it perfectly. What's most important in any fitness routine is consistency. Consistency is the absolute key. And that is exactly what a 30-day plan seems to offer, right? A clear, structured path to finally being consistent. And the promises, they're incredibly motivating. Just look at these goals from a typical beginner plan. We're not just talking about exercise here. It's about building foundational strength, boosting your energy and your mood, creating a consistent routine, and at the end of the day, just feeling stronger and more capable in your own life. Seriously, who wouldn't want that? Okay, so if the promise is that great, what's the reality? Let's get into the real reasons we actually end up quitting. Well, author Steve Pavlina, he puts it pretty bluntly. He says that failure is not just common, it's the norm. And it happens fast, usually within the very first week. And here's the thing, this isn't some personal failing on your part. It's a pattern. So, what's the number one reason for this pattern, according to Pavlina? You might think it's a lack of willpower on day 10, but nope. The problem actually starts before day 1 even begins. It's the failure to make a crystal clear, specific commitment. A vague goal like, I'll exercise more. That is pretty much designed to fail from the start. And get this, because this is maybe the most surprising part. Pavlina argues that a staggering 80%, 80, of your success has nothing to do with willpower during the challenge. It's all determined by the prep work you do before day 1 even begins. It's about setting up this clear, specific, almost like a legal contract with yourself. But okay, it's not just about the preparation. There's another huge reason we fail, and it's right there in the name, the 30-day part of the challenge. It's built on a totally flawed timeline. Our expectations for how long a habit actually takes to form are just wrong. So where did this whole 21 days to form a habit idea even come from? Well, it actually comes from a plastic surgeon back in the 1950s, a Dr. Maxwell Maltz. He noticed that his patients took, and this is the key phrase, a minimum of about 21 days to get used to their new face. But, as James Clear points out, over the decades, that crucial little phrase, a minimum of, it just got dropped. And just like that, a myth was born. So let's just bust that myth right here, right now. The popular myth says 21 days. The scientific reality, based on research by Philip Halali, it takes, on average, 66 days for a new behavior to become automatic. Yeah, that's more than double what most of us expect. And listen, even that 66-day number, that's just an average. The very same study found that the actual time can range from as little as 18 days all the way up to 254 days. So the big takeaway here is this: there is no magic number. It totally depends on you, the habit you're trying to build, and your own circumstances. Okay, so if it takes that long, how in the world does the brain actually do it? Let's take a look at the mechanics under the hood, how a habit is actually built in our brains. It really all comes down to this simple but super powerful 3-step pattern in our brains called the habit loop. Okay, so first, there's a cue, or a reminder. That's the trigger. Second is the routine itself, the action you take. And third, you've got the reward, the benefit you get that tells your brain, hey, this whole loop is worth remembering. And this loop, it creates this incredibly powerful feedback process. See, the reward isn't just a nice little feeling. It is a direct signal to your brain. A positive reward literally tells it, hey, that was good. Let's remember that. Next time you see that cue, do that routine again. And that, right there, is how a behavior gets ingrained and eventually becomes automatic. And if we take a quick peek under the hood, neurologically speaking, there are two key players making this happen. You've got the basal ganglia, that's the part of your brain working to automate all these routines so you don't even have to think about them. And then you have dopamine, which is the chemical messenger that delivers that powerful reward signal, the thing that makes you actually crave doing it again. Okay, so we've covered the problems, we've covered the science. So what's the actual solution here? Well, it's a really powerful strategy that completely shifts our focus. It's called the identity-first method. The writer James Clear lays out this amazing model. He argues, but most of us, we try to change from the outside in. We focus on the outcomes, right? But true, lasting change, that happens from the inside out. It doesn't start with what you want to achieve. It starts with who you want to become. And here is the perfect way to think about it. An outcome-based goal sounds like this. I want to lose 20 pounds. See? It's an event. But an identity-based goal sounds like this. I want to become the type of person who never misses a workout. That's completely different. It's about embodying a whole new standard for yourself. And the process really just boils down to two simple steps. First, you decide the type of person you want to be. Then, and this part is absolutely crucial, you start proving it to yourself with super small, consistent wins. Think of it this way. Every little action you take is like casting a vote for the type of person you're becoming. All right, so let's pull all of this together. Let's totally redefine what a challenge should actually look like. So here's your new playbook. First, forget the outcome and focus on the identity, who you want to become. Next, start with a new behavior that is so ridiculously easy you can't possibly say no. Think flossing one tooth or doing one single push-up. Then, aim for consistency, not perfection. Missing a day isn't a failure. It doesn't derail the whole thing. Understand that the real journey is way longer than 30 days. And finally, the most important part, stop worrying about day 30. The only goal that matters is to win day 1. You see how this reframes everything? Suddenly, the pressure of some 30-day marathon, it's just gone. And instead, it becomes about one single, totally achievable step that you take today. So really the only question left is, what's your day 1?